Yo, what's up YouTube? What's up? Welcome back to another Slayer video. I know this is a different type of format, you know, a different type of, like, this isn't my usual Rocket League gameplay. If you guys didn't know, the RLCS Qualifier 2 just finished, so it was a lot of good matches. I watched the majority of it, or the least important part, which is Saturday and Sunday. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff, and I just wanted to come on here and give you my opinion on it, because I mean, I'm a Rocket League player. I love Rocket League. I love Rocket League with all that's in me. It's a game that I've been playing for 7 years now, and I've been watching RLCS since season like 4 or 5, but I wasn't really into it like that. I would just watch like the important parts. I wouldn't really watch like the build up to the important parts. So this season I've been really trying to build. I've been really trying to watch like the actual important parts, like the Swiss, like the playoffs, like the qualifiers for the majors, and I've been really trying to learn from what's around me, from social media, from news sources, and I feel like I know enough to come on here and give you all my thoughts and give you all my opinions on what happened this qualifier 2. If you guys didn't know, the qualifier 2 started on, well, there was a bunch of like qualifiers for the qualifier, if that makes sense. So yeah, but the more important days were Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. More importantly, Saturday and Sunday. Those are the two that I'm mostly going to be reviewing, which is just the playoffs, because if I were to review everything of the qualifier 2, that would just be too long. I would be talking for like an hour and a half, and I don't think it's either good for you or me. So if you guys didn't know, G2 won, beating Luminosity out, and it was a good series, but I'll get on to it later. I first want to start by saying, hope you guys enjoy these type of videos. I like to give my opinion on Rocket League, because I feel like I know enough to give my opinion on the game. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy, and let's get into this ramble. All right, so we start off with the first game, which was on Saturday. It was first match was Luminosity and NRG. This was a series that it was a good series. I thought it was going to be better in terms of competition. I thought these two teams were actually going to batter each other out. I was going to go to a game 7, but they just didn't go that way. Luminosity sweeping NRG, beating them 4-0. Yeah, so I'm gonna start off with NRG. I feel like NRG's success lies within Drees. I feel like Drees, if Drees is having a good series, they're winning. If Drees is not having a good series, if Drees is playing really slow, if Drees is not having a good day, I feel like the team crumbles, because so yeah, I just feel like Drees is that important player of NRG, and if he does well, team plays well. If he doesn't do well, the team doesn't do well. Well, NRG came in here beating, they went 3-1. They went I have my notes over here, so if I'm looking over here, I have all my notes and stuff. So yeah, so NRG came into this playoffs going 3-1 in the Swiss, beating out G Buffalo 3-1, actually sweeping Luminosity 3-0 and beating it correct 3-0, but losing to M80 1-3. So NRG did have some high expectations coming in because it's NRG. It's a big org. It's an org that has multiple esports around every game. Pretty sure they have some. You have some in Valorant. They have some in Apex. They have Rocket League, obviously. And if it allowed it, they would probably have one in COD as well. But the NRG is just a big. It's a historic org. A historic org has won many esport events, many championships. So for them to coming on here and give this performance is a bit underwhelming for these. And one of its key players being Gary G being a staple in the Rocket League scene, been playing every single season since season 1, season 2. He's first integrating himself, being in multiple historic teams, winning a world championship in season 8. Gary G is a player that's always being talked about, that's always being criticized, and it's always going to be the main face of NRG as long as he's there. They're probably giving him a fat bag too. Gary G came into the series with his 1,000 goal. So he did have some high expectations coming into the series, but it just wasn't what it wasn't what NRG expected. It wasn't what I expected, obviously, but Garrett did I would say Garrett was the best player on that team, even though the team did play badly. They just didn't have a good series, although they swept Luminosity pretty convincingly in the Swiss on Friday. So it was a big series for them. They needed to win it to make a statement in the scene, but it just didn't go that way. NRG just lacking offense everywhere, even because you have two defensive minded players in Mist and Gary G like to stay back, be in goal. They did end up conceding 19 goals in 4 games, so it's it's really bad for energy. He lost. The game 1 was 7-1, game 2 was 3-1, game 3 was 5-1, and game 4 is 4-2. Just goals that are unacceptable. If you're gonna have defensive minded players like Garrett G and Mist, you really have to stop those goals from conceding. And that's what I was thinking the entire series. Like, how are you gonna have these defensive players and not perform as they are expected to? And I mean, Dries did all he could. Dries was the only I mean, he's supposed to be the attacking, the smart technical player, but he just couldn't do it by himself. He needs someone else to be there alongside with him, have the same play style with him, connect with him, to like receive those passes, make those passes that dude's just trying to do, but it just wasn't enough. But I don't know what's gonna happen with this energy team. They came in really controversial because they did make a lot of roster moves even before the first qualifier started. Because they picked up Frosty, then they dropped them, then they picked up Toasty, then dropped them before the qualifiers even started, and now they're stuck picking up a retired Dries. They had to pull Dries out of retirement, so it's a really difficult roster. Their fall off is crazy because they had a really good team, some staple name players like Garrett. They had Justin and Squishy last season. In season 8 when they won the world championship, they had Justin and Turbo being arguably one of the best players of all time, the most decorated player of all time actually. But yeah, I don't know what to say about this energy team. This energy team really needs to step up because they are NRG. They aren't an orgless team. They are a team that's an org. They're getting paid. It's a historic org. So I just feel like energy needs to really step up, and I don't know if there's going to be a roster move after Major 1. I'm not even surprised if they make one before Major 1, but I highly doubt it, but because it's just too risky to make a roster move before the Major, or if they even qualify for the Major, because right now they're sitting on the bottom half of the league of the table to qualify, and with these new rule changes, qualifying only the top 4 from North America, it's difficult for energy to get that top spot that they want. And I just feel like a lot needs to be changed. I don't know if it's the mindset, I don't know if it's the players, I don't know if it's the chemistry, but energy needs to change something. And with a really good coach at like Fireburner, hopefully he can turn this team around, because if he doesn't, this team is not gonna go well in the next qualifier. But now moving on to Luminosity, I just have to say, wow, a lot of people doubted this org. A lot of people doubted this team, this Luminosity team. Digit picking up scraps from Optic, dropping Optic, just completely pulling out of Rocket League, and leaving AJ, Greg, Magic Bear, and Battles in the dust, not knowing what to do. But Luminosity just picked up this team, and also Cheese, because AJ went his separate way. They picked up Cheese, and me personally, I didn't know who Cheese was. I didn't see Cheese perform before these qualifiers, so I couldn't really say anything about the Cheese transfer. But it just shut me up. To be honest, it just shut me up. Dude, Cheese had a series. Cheese had such a good series, and the whole team just had a good series. But I mostly want to focus on Cheese because he had so many goals. He had the majority of the goals that series, I'm pretty sure, unless it was Magic Bear. I'm not too sure, but Cheese had the more notable goals in my opinion. And I think we just have to give it to Luminosity bouncing back after being swept by Energy in the Swiss, and Luminosity to go 3-2, which they were on the brink of elimination on during this qualifier. And I just feel like Luminosity had a really good bounce back series. This one, it was a staple series that they needed, but this Luminosity team is just different. Their offensive was really good, their defense was really good, their goal scoring opportunities were really clear to them. The vibes were amazing. Every time they scored, they always hyped each other up, and it's just something that you really love to see in a team. And I just really enjoyed how Luminosity playing, although I'm being a little biased because I am an Optic guy. So they're ex-Optic players, so obviously I'm gonna talk good about them. But yeah, overall, really disappointing from Energy. Energy needed to step up, they didn't, and Luminosity just did. So that's all I gotta say about them. Hopefully they can switch something up. And yeah, I guess that's all I gotta say about that series. So really good series though. All right, second match we had that day was the M80 versus OG. Now it was a good series where OG beat M80 4-2. Actually, it actually was longer than the last series. Starting off with M80 looks good in Swiss but can't perform in the playoffs. They love to play on Fridays. Fridays are like doped up. Fridays are like their day. But when it comes to Saturday, and didn't even get to Sunday, but even if they would have gotten to Sunday, it didn't look good for M80. M80 picking up a really good AJ AJ, I really respect AJ. AJ is that goal scoring threat that they need. AJ being good both at ones and twos everywhere. He's just a complete package alongside Nas and Jorius. Now again, I didn't really see Nas. I didn't really hear a lot about Nas, but I mean, he's looking really good as well. Jorius, I heard about his time to Dignitas for a while, but then it got dropped. Now he's in North America here in M80. Yeah, they look good in Swiss. They went 3-0 in the qualifier 1 in Swiss, and they went 3-0 in the qualifier 2 in Swiss. So they really love their Swiss matches. But when it comes to the playoffs, when it actually comes to the important parts, they just can't show. They can't show out. They choked the game 1. They choked the game 1. They were winning 2-0, and then they lost 4-3. They can't keep a lead. They somehow blow a 1 goal lead or more. So once they score first, they always end up losing. That happened 3 times during the series. Is that written down here? I don't know. They just can't ice up. They can't ice up. It was a really lackluster game from them. And I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know if it's gonna be a change. I don't know if something's gonna happen to them. Are we looking for a roster move? That's really far-fetched to say, considering they did really well in Swiss. They just have to tweak out those little things. And yeah, so that's all I gotta say about M80. Really good roster, but it's just I don't know, they just can't ice up in the playoffs. And I really believe in this M80 roster. They were looking like one of the best teams in the game after coming into Swiss, getting eliminated by Shopify Rebellion, and now getting eliminated by OG. So I don't know what's gonna happen to this roster. I had really high hopes for M80, and they have completed them partially, majority, because they've been doing really well in Swiss, but nothing more to say about M80. I really do want them to do well. I really like AJ. I really like Jorius because of his name, and I really like what I saw from Nas in the Swiss. But when it comes to playoffs, they just can't do it. I don't know what's wrong with them. I don't know if it's a mindset thing, a team thing, a collaboration thing, or just being overall just not good enough. But yeah, that's all I gotta say about M80. Hopefully they can switch up, hopefully they can ice up, and they might still have a chance to qualify. But I don't know. I don't think this team is gonna do well if they go to the major, if they keep up like this. But yeah, moving on to OG. Now OG is a team. OG is a really confusing team for me, because you basically pick up scraps from everywhere. You pick up JNABs getting dropped from G2. You pick up Noli from being dropped by Gen G. You pick up Torment being dropped from version 1, and then I'm missing the last one. You pick up Tom being dropped by V1 as well. So this is a team based up of scraps. Really good names. All these players are talented. All these players have done their thing. JNABs being one of the greatest of all time. Wouldn't be the most consistent. Still hasn't won a ring though. I'm not counting that season 9 during COVID. I'm not counting that one. Torment, historic comeback, season 6 with Cloud9. The greatest players of all time. One of the greatest minds. Calm is that really annoying player that some teams just need. Calm is that guy who talks bad about you, who talks shit, and he's a good player to get in your head. He's playing a good player to annoy you. And Noli's just an overall player that some teams just need, both good defensively and offensively. And Gen G, these are all players that just like are really good at the game. So, but because they've been picked up from scraps, their chemistry is not the best. So they have been underwhelming in Swiss. Last Swiss was their first qualifier. They went 0-3, so they didn't even qualify for the playoffs, having a really disappointing time. And people were chalking this team up, but I mean, I didn't chalk this team up. I really wanted to see more of them, because I know that these guys do not give up. Because if they would have given up, Torment wouldn't have reverse sweeped or bracket resetted Dignitas. JNABs wouldn't be where he is. Same with the other two, but they're trying to. But I did see some shouts that JNAB should retire after last season. After last season, they lost in the RLCS in the championship. I was seeing a bunch of results saying JNAB should retire. JNAB's time is done. He's finished. He's washed. But this team looks like they're trying to prove the haters wrong. But when JNAB's proved that just by scoring a hat trick in game 1. And I did see a lot of Calm having a good series. Calm had a good series both offensively and defensively, but was making some mistakes. He didn't have a flawless series, but I do really rate Calm high. Again, as I said before, he's that player that really gets in your head, really annoys you, and and they actually know how to keep a lead. They score first and they know how to keep it. They know these guys are calm under pressure, and understandably these are some of the greatest players of all time, and they know how to ice up, unlike other teams. But yeah, this is a really good series from them. I really like what I saw on Saturday, and this was a statement. And when I see a statement, I mean this was a statement series from the guys. So that's what I really like. Overall, good series from OG. Statement series has a lot of potential, but we just have to wait till more tournaments unfold. And M80 underwhelming in playoffs. Did really good in Swiss, but they have to bounce back in order to get something done. Now the third match we had was Gen G versus SSG. Now this was a weird series for me because I don't really think about it as a really big series, even though it was. But starting off with Gen G, I mean Gen G really reached the final of the last qualifier, so they really want to win it this time. But they got absolutely slammed 4-0 by G2 Stride, and they try to recreate it. Chronic had a really good series. They played confident. I mean, they played confident. I really like Gen G. I really like Abjack most specifically. He's like that because he's like, Abjack is like that the gentleman of the RLCS. You know, he's like that formal guy I always see. So I really like Abjack. I really like the team. First Killer, Chronic, all really good players. First Killer, I do rate in terms of ability wise. I do like how he plays, but I feel like he just needs to be more mature, unless he already has matured. I have seen some improvement with him, but before he used to be a kid. That's what to say. Yeah, that's all I gotta say about Gen G. Really good series from them. It was really good series from them, but then they closed it out well. Now SSG, they lost Gen G last Swiss. They lost to Gen G in a pretty. It was alright. It was a pretty good series though. LJ being the player to watch, in my opinion. I feel like LJ is probably the best player on that team, alongside Chicago and Hoxer. Hoxer is always a really good player. He has some really good plays that series, but I just feel like LJ was the make or break of that series. And SSG, in my opinion, they struggled to close out a match. In game 3 and game 4, they choked it. I don't have written down the scoreline, but I know that game 3 and game 4 they did choke it. And they go 3-1 in Swiss twice in a row. They go 3-1 in Swiss twice in a row, and then they choked it, and then they lose to Gen G twice in a row. So Gen G beat them last qualifier as well. I feel like Space Station, if it's anyone but G2, they probably move on. I really rate Space Station highly. I feel like they have a good team with LJ, Hoxer, and Chicago. I feel like all three of those players are really good. But yeah, I feel like if they get paired up with anyone but Gen G or G2, they move on. They move on comfortably. Yeah, I really do like their roster. I like that match. I'm not gonna say much about it, but yeah. All right, and the final match we had on Saturday was G2 Stride going 3-0 in the Swiss. I'm pretty sure for the second time in a row, versus Pirates on a Boat, who went 3-2, who I'm pretty sure beat TSM to qualify for the playoffs this qualifier. Now G2 are coming into this hot, dude. G2 is the best team in the game. G2 looks like the best team in the game. G2 dominates like they're the best team in the game. They coming into this Swiss 3-0, haven't dropped the map at all. So they went 3-0, 3-0, 3-0. They just dominated everyone in their path. I mean, what more can I say about G2? They're the best team in the game. They won the qualifier. They won the qualifier last qualifier, beating Gen G 4-0 in the finals, and they go 3-0, and they want to win it again, and they won it again. But they want to win it again. But in their way was Pirates on a Boat. Pirates on a Boat has Chiefs as their coach. If you don't know, the Chiefs got dropped from the RLCS cast a few months back, and although it was unfair, although it was unnecessary, Chiefs did pick up a side hobby, a side hustle in coaching. So he's coaching Pirates on a Boat, and I do rate Chiefs highly. I feel like he knows a lot about the game. I feel like he actually pays attention to what is asked of him in this game. And yeah, they had to beat TSM to squeeze in. I really rate Chiefs highly. I like his coaching style. And Pirates on a Boat, this, I feel like the scoreline, the 4-0 scoreline, kind of deceived you into thinking what kind of series that was, because Pirates on a Boat made that series close. That was a close series for G2. I really thought G2 would crumble after that series, but they didn't. I really liked how Pirates Thunderbolt played. I didn't rate Pirates Thunderbolt highly before this qualifier, but after seeing what I've seen, I do rate them highly, and I do think they can make a run if they do not get paired up with G2. So yeah, I really rate them highly. I like the guys, and I don't got no much to say. Good series from the guys, and I feel like they just played a really good series. Now moving on to day 2. This is Championship Sunday. Championship Sunday, we open up with Luminosity versus OG. As I mentioned before, Cheese is on a roll. Cheese is scoring every single goal that he touches. Every single ball he touches is ending up in the back of the net. Now they're on a hot streak, beating NRG. He beat him 4-0. And in game 1, Luminosity is being offensive. Cheese getting more shots than the entire OG roster. Combined, Cheese is like the offensive player. Rattle stays back a little bit more. Rattle is like the grown up in the series. Like, he just stays back. Dude does a dirty work, while you have Magic Bear and Cheese both being really offensive, getting those balls, running with them, shooting on net when they can. And that's what I really like about Luminosity. I really like how they're really organized. I feel like how Greg's coaching style has really fit this team, and I feel like everyone has really good chemistry. In Luminosity in game 2, they did waste out a lot of chances. This game should not have gone to OT. They should have just closed it out with the chances they had, but they had to go into OT. And although I'm pretty sure they beat OG, they should not have gone to an OT. They should have been closed out. I mean, we should have just said bye. Cheese is him. Cheese is him. Cheese is him. All I gotta say. Now, but OG coming into that series, they're coming in from a statement series. That's the last series they had was a statement series. They're here to play. Not what we saw today. Well, not what we saw on Sunday. The main man being JNaps, in my opinion. JNaps had a good series in his own ways. OG cannot keep up with Luminosity offense, or just Cheese, because Cheese was scoring everything. They had some good plays at times, like in game 5 they'd have that passing play, which they really did like. They've improved, but they haven't improved enough. They're almost there. When I say they're almost there, they're almost there. It's just something's missing on OG. They can't find that final play that they need. And I mean, overall, just Cheese is having a good series. Cheese. I don't know who he was. He's him. Cheese is him. OG keep it close, but can't come back. It's a close series. These were one to two goal games. 1 to 2 differential goal games. Both teams playing well. Luminosity vibes carried on to the next day. These guys are loving each other. These guys are more than just teammates. These guys are friends. And I really did have some big expectations from OG. I don't think I mentioned Luminosity beat them 4-1. I don't know if I mentioned that, but I do have a lot of expectations for OG. I really like this roster, and hopefully they can carry it on to the next season, next qualifier. If they qualify for the major, I don't know if it's gonna go for the best for them. Now, the second series in the game, we had Gen G versus G2 Stride. This game was, again, it was a G2 series. It was a G2. They didn't slam Gen G. It wasn't a complete slammage, but I feel like Gen G could have done more. Starting off with G2, these are the reigning champions from last qualifier. As I mentioned already, they haven't dropped the map in Swiss playoffs up to this point until they dropped one today after beating them 4-1. They dropped the map. Daniel was having a bomb series. He's looking like the main man at this point. Daniel is him. Daniel, people were doubting him after he left G2. People were doubting him after he left version 1, and now he's on G2. I don't know actually. No, he left Space Station. People were doubting him. People thought he was going to be the guy in Space Station. He left Space Station. People doubted him. He went to version 1, did arrive version 1. People doubted him after leaving version 1. Leaving version 1, he went to G2. I did see some stuff because G2 is a pretty big award. They have esports around every game. But it's just Daniel's a different guy. But it's G2's our favorites coming into the series over Gen G. Is the thing about it is that Gen G tried every single thing in their arsenal. Gen G brought out every single shot, every single mechanic that they could. They just couldn't score. They couldn't score at all. They legit could not score. And when it came to G2 had selective shots here, there. I want to shoot here, I want to shoot there, I want to shoot here, and it all just went in. G2 had so many good shots. They didn't need many shots. They just needed perfect shots, and that's what they got. They got perfect shots. They needed these games where they shot 3-4 times, but somehow got 5 goals. So, and they were playing really well defensively, not letting Gen G score saves on saves. They had 7 in game. G2 as a whole had 7 saves in game 1 and 9 saves in game 2. So this G2 squad was just defense on defense on defense. Oh, they made a mistake. We're counterattacking. We gotta go. All right, go back. All right. This is their turn. They took 5 shots. All right, we take 1 shot. We score. All right, go back. That's the whole summary of what this G2 Gen G game was. Gen G shooting, not working. G2 taking 1 shot, good shot, went in. And I just really like how G2 played. I really like how G2 played. As you can hear from them, and they're on to the finals, beating them 4-1. Now going on to Gen G. They had an intense series versus SSG, but they won. They were good. We're coming in high looking into this. Appjack was looking good. He's my focal point in my opinion. I feel like Appjack is one of those things where like Appjack's the leader. In my opinion, I see him as the leader of that team. Because he has a lot of experience. That first killer in Chronic, I don't know if they have. So I always see Appjack as that leader, as that guy that wants the ball, that guy that wants to tell what these guys what the hell is going on. The team has really good chemistry. In game 1, they came out slow, not getting anything going, but they found their form, scoring 1 and almost bringing it out of Toti in the near end in game 1. They're shooting a lot but cannot get no definition on their shots. They had 11 shots in game 1 and 10 shots in game 2 as all in Gen G. Those are not normal numbers. Those are not normal numbers, and they should have gotten more goals than they did. That's all I gotta say. Overall, G2 very selective on their shots. Really good goals. They shot when it mattered and it went in. Gen G could not find a shot, could not buy a goal. It was really hard for them to score, even though they had so many shots on target, and they just couldn't get anything going for them. Now the final, we have Luminosity versus G2. Now this series, G2 absolutely slammed them, and when I say slammed them, they slammed them. For what was a 4-1, but it was a dominant 4-1 from G2. Starting off with Luminosity are coming into the series with the best offense in the game. G2 have the best defense in the game. Luminosity's goals are coming from Cheese and part of Magic Bear, but Cheese. G2's goals are coming in from equally Beast Mode and Daniel. So watch out for that. Yeah. But Luminosity coming into the series, best offense in the game. Have Magic Bear and Cheese, while Rattle's just placing himself more back, more defensive, more assisting, and in an assisting role to let these 2 guys just do whatever they want on the field, having the freedom, which is part of their success. Because letting Cheese and Magic Bear do whatever they want, play the shots they want, play around each other, play with each other, while Rattle's just staying back, making sure these guys can do that freely. While G2 also have the same setup with Atomic. Atomic is playing a little more back, letting Daniel and Beast Mode do whatever they want, being more offensively, while Atomic is just holding the fort on the back. Yeah, they're going to Luminosity. They have really good momentum. They're only dropping 1 map in the playoffs. They sweep both Energy and OG. OG beating them 4-1. Coming into this match, they only dropped 1 map in the playoffs, which is really impressive, considering that no one really thought Luminosity would get this far. I didn't think Luminosity was going to get this far. I really respected this roster, but I didn't think that I was going to get this far. I thought they were just going to be a top 16 or top 8 team, just sitting there, could make a run, which is what they did today, or what they did in this qualifier. But it just wasn't enough. Cheese and Magic Bear were getting outperformed by Beast Mode and Daniel. I didn't expect a slammage. I didn't expect Cheese and Magic Bear to lack goal scoring opportunities. Luminosity tried their best. It wasn't enough, and they both tried their job. Bro was just getting outperformed by Beast Mode and Daniel, and this Luminosity roster does have potential, and a lot of it. They have a lot of potential because these guys' vibes are immaculate, and when I say immaculate, these guys are best friends forever. Like you must have thought these guys have been best friends since they were just like childhood. But yeah, I really like this Luminosity roster. I really think they're gonna go far in the major. Hopefully they make it to the major, because I really do like Rattle's, Magic Bear, and Cheese. Also Rock Reg being formal Optic players, so of course I'm having a little soft spot for them. Please come back, Optic. Please come back. Hex, help us. Anyways, yeah. I was not gonna say about Luminosity. I gotta Yeah, I really like this Luminosity roster. I really think they have high potentials, and that's all I gotta say about them. So on to the next tournament, I guess. Now moving on to G2. Wow. This G2 roster looks different. This G2 roster is on a whole different level of NA. This G2 could compete with the Vitalities, the BDSs, the K Corps, the Gentlemates. These guys can compete against them. They can, and they will, and they are going to win. They have the best defense in the game. They limit how much they're conceding, but also have a really good offense with Beast Mode and Daniel. These two guys work so well together. They guys play around each other so well, better than Luminosity, better than OG, better than Gen G. But they've only dropped one match in the entire qualifier. It's counting Swiss and the playoffs, dropping one map to Luminosity. They almost had a perfect split. And it would have been really impressive if they did, but they dropped the map to Luminosity. This is their second. They went back to back. That's tippable at this point. You have to tip it. It's tippable at this point. Not many teams can go back to back qualifiers. Like having some of the top teams playing. It was just straight domination. They were looking to win. They had one mindset. They had one set saying, "We're going to win this. We're going to win this series, and we're going to win this series dominantly." And that's what they did. They solidified themselves as the best team in NA, undoubtedly. No arguments, no nothing. No team in NA could beat this team. This is just a different team, and they just had to beat Gen G, but now winning this basically solidifies them to Major 1 in Copenhagen. I really do have high expectations for this team. This team is looking really good, and yeah, I want them to do whatever they can to have some representation in NA, because the Vitalities, the K Corps, the BDSs are always going to be lurking there in the major. And although I do want other NA teams to also show up in the major, but I'm really hoping G2 steps up, because I cannot take this torment of embarrassment to our NA teams. Okay, that's all I gotta say about this. Overall, really good series. No, heavily one-sided, but Luminosity, I like how Luminosity didn't give up in their game one, the game that they won. They really showed some grit out there, and I really like these two teams. So yeah, that's all I gotta say about them. On to the next qualifier. And now thank you guys for watching. I know I do a lot of talking, but I really want to give my opinion on this qualifiers. I really do love Rocket League, as I mentioned in the intro. I love Rocket League. I love playing Rocket League. I love watching Rocket League. I love studying Rocket League. And I've been wanting to make a video like this for a long time, but I just never really got the chance to. And I feel like now I'm getting the chance to, because I feel like I'm really invested in NA Rocket League and EU. I am starting to watch a lot more EU. I don't know if I'm gonna do a overall review of EU, because I'm just not that educated in EU to give my opinion on it. While in NA I think I am. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this type of videos. I will be back in a few days with another just regular gameplay Rocket League video, or I don't know. I'll see, because it is hard to make Rocket League content. But I love the game. Hope you guys enjoyed this type of videos. Hope you guys, if you guys didn't agree with me, let me know why. Let me know what your thoughts are. If my opinions suck, let me know. If my opinions are trash, let me know. If you worship my opinions, let me know. Yeah. If you're new here, what's up? My name's Slayer. I love playing Rocket League. I love just doing everything that has to do with Rocket League. I've been playing for 7 years. I am a GC2 player, looking for that GC3, but only hard work will get me there. Yeah, thank you guys for watching. See you guys in a few days. Peace out. Peace.